Introducing the 3-part options course with Hans Albrecht. Get access for free by scanning this QR code or clicking on the link in the description.
The Taiwan dollar, which most don't pay attention to for the most part, had a spike. So it appreciated 7% tonight, 10% in the last little bit. In other words, it started on Friday, and then it really had a dramatic 4.24 standard deviation move last night. So it's actually a big deal. Lots of theories about why, but it is, of course, worth investigating. So I want to know what domino effect it could possibly have and trying to interpret the tea leaves. So long and the short is this dollar pair trade with the Taiwan new dollar looks on the monthly and the weekly, and you can see how dramatic this move is. Brad Setzer, who is a foreign expert on flows, says he would not be surprised if the central bank comes in and defends it down here in this kind of 28 handle. They have done that before. They did that very aggressively back in this 2021-22 area. All right, so that's central bank intervention right here. So this is something that he has written about, and I have quoted him and kind of pointed you to his stream of thought, which is very, very based in foreign currency flows. He is really a prolific writer on the pension funds and insurers in Taiwan, their unhedged positions in U.S. treasuries and U.S. dollar assets. So he's someone, I think, if you care about a balanced view, that's where you go. Careful elsewhere. Originally, when I saw the move, the money goes home mantra of mine that I've had for months now, right? Where repatriation of dollars, they leave the US. One, they're being incentivized to it, tariffs, all kinds of reasons, confidence crisis, you got it going on. But I was trying to make sense of it, and I'll kind of go through that in a minute. But this is why I was looking at this going, all right, so we know that right now, mainland market is closed even, by the way. They reopen on Tuesday. So central banks can come in whenever they want to, but this was a regional kind of phenomenon. So we really have China, the whole thing, the whole area really got hit, but none more intensely than the Taiwan dollar. And you can see it was a standard deviation move of size, right? This is a 1-day percentage change, so it's kind of a big deal. Now, reports are that the central bank did intervene a little bit. Definitely Hong Kong did at record levels to defend their peg. So there's an FX volatility event going on over in Asia. That's the first thing. And most people are like, all right, the market's down a little bit, but should we worry? So this is why I wanted to kind of get into it. So first, the balanced view for those who are interested. This is the best economic post on the subject. He talks about how it's been, weak for years. He talks about insurers specifically, really strong. Chart of holdings I post on foreign bonds that represent about 170% of Taiwan's GDP. I mean, it's not little. Huge share of life insurers, trillions in assets has been invested abroad. 1.2 trillion has been invested abroad, if not more. And significant amount of that is unhedged. So again, he wrote the article in Financial Times, how Taiwan became a quiet bond market superpower, etc. So he had already kind of estimated what these 1% moves would represent. We had a 10% over a very short period of time. He does expect the central bank to intervene, and this is something where he expects it'll happen very soon. So for those who do trade FX, we'll see, because it could be political pressure. It could be something that we're not really privy to, which is to say maybe the US is making it harder for the central bank to intervene because of trade negotiations. We really don't know, but that's just something to consider. And then I'm looking at this going, okay, sure, the financial exposure for Taiwan is massive, but so are the implications. Money goes home Asian version. Why would I even think this? If they, were to be preparing for war, you'd think they'd keep some dollars outside of Taiwan so they could buy arms, et cetera, but they're doing the reverse. They're repatriating their huge FX currency mismatch with assets and liabilities. So what could be some of the reasons? They're front running, clearly. They're not waiting. They're doing it early. So, okay, let's kind of parse this out. We know how big they are. It's not just Taiwan is strategically important to the US for its semi-chip manufacturing. Think NVIDIA dependent on. Like Apple's dependent on China for its iPhone manufacturing, etc. Taiwan Semiconductor is the biggest. So it's more than that. Taiwan has become a financial superpower thanks to its life insurance companies. And we're talking a lot of overseas exposure. which a lot of it, they say, is US bonds. Then this morning, Joe kind of, I don't know, even he's making like a little fun here, but this is what they woke up to as far as their unhedged US Treasury return. That's not funny. That's just not funny. But that's literally what he wrote, which was, this is what it looks like if you're a Taiwanese investor holding US Treasuries. Anyway, there are rumors and speculations all over the place. One that I really liked, where I got the source of that 4 standard deviation move, by the way, is really triggers echoes of my money goes home thesis. Louis Vincent says, are we witnessing the reversal of the 1997 Asian crisis, a period of massive transfer of purchasing power from the West to the East? Clearly, the Trump admin no longer wants U.S. consumers to be consumer of last report. So what happens next? Resort. So what happens next? Either Asia steps up to the plate or the world enters depression. This currency move points to the former. Okay, I'm not going with the depression bet, but the point is this reverse Asian crisis of purchasing power migrating in reverse, I totally can see. You can see the Bloomberg headlines that are just lighting up about this. The central bank, by the way, of Taiwan is CBC. Oh my goodness. And now they're going to meet with regulators and they're going to meet inviting insurers to the meeting. They're taking it seriously. Why are they front running? And then I saw this post out by famed semi-analyst, and he says U.S. tariffs on semiconductors are likely to be 25 to 100% when unveiled Wednesday. We're talking 2 days from now. We're talking 48 hours from now, not July 4th. Repeat. Not July 4th, but this is again a rumor. Adding, the U.S. Commerce Department said it has only received 10 statements from companies regarding the possible tariffs. They're probably scared to death to even come forward. Remember, this is very, very hot political potato. Anyway, they're not coming forward, which caused concern. The low number of comments may lead officials to believe there is very little objection to the tariffs. So this is conjecture, but it's coming from a very noted semiconductor analyst. So are these incoming potential 100% tariffs on Taiwan semiconductor and the like the new blockade? This is interesting. I mean, Trump is going to announce tariffs on semiconductors on Wednesday, likely. They will have huge impact on Taiwan semiconductor. The only news that I have right now is getting back to tariffs. This is a huge timing tool. We also have the FOMC. You know how Trump is angry with them, with the Fed not cutting, and it's likely going to have more pushback. He's gonna push or pander, but I think he's gonna push. Anyway, we have Trump potential tariff announcements on Wednesday on semis, specifically that would hit Taiwan. Is the Taiwan dollar appreciating as it front runs, as it repatriates back into Taiwan quickly? I don't know, but this is a good guess. I got to work with something. Anyway, these Taiwan life insurance companies have huge liabilities and they have large offsetting assets in dollars. A lot of invested in US treasuries. A lot are unhedged. So either way, we have an unhedged FX position that has created volatility, and it's not a surprise that it's seeping into equity volatility a little bit, starting out low. So anyway, we're getting into this. Oil dumped, the Taiwan dollar spiked, and part of me is wondering what the heck is going on also with Trump out this weekend, where he's like on Meet the Press, an incoherent statement I'm still trying to parse out, where, he says we're losing hundreds of billions of dollars with China. Now we're essentially not doing business with China. Therefore, we're saving hundreds of billions of dollars. You and I can read that and go, what the? But the point is, what is going on? Is this like handing? I swear, part of this makes me wonder if Trump follows through this logic and with these 100% tariffs on Taiwan semiconductors, you know what happens to the market? The US market will have some volatility. Semis are going to have some volatility. And this is why I think it bears watching closely, because if we get some repatriation and position unwind from and US tariff hit on Taiwan, this is going to help China even more because Taiwan will be isolated even more. So I wonder if that's part of why they are in a big hurry to repatriate these dollar assets it holds abroad, preparation to defend itself. So stuff to keep in mind. I could be way off on that last sentence, okay? But I have to keep it open.
Join Club today to engage with Samantha and her team of 10 experts. Scan this QR code or click the link in the description. Subscribe to LaDuc Trading YouTube channel for more live trading room recap videos and other content.